I'm gonna enter right here. It's the waiting game. This is doing the break and retest on the Nasdaq. This is pre-market highs and also the Monday lows. ES is weak right now, but I think there can be a bounce here. If it gets above this, I'm taking a trade. I just gotta do it. Okay, oh shit. I gotta get in. I gotta get in. A bit late, but what can you do? That's the volume I needed. Okay, my stop loss is not that bad. It's about 25 points. We target 3 to 1. Alright, let's see. Got my 2 to 1, and I'm gonna move my stop to break even right here. And that right there is my 3 to 1 trade. Let's fucking go. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. I am gonna break down the trade that I took last week. I did win about $144. I did target a 3 to 1 trade, and I basically won back all my losses in September. I felt like I was losing a lot. Of course, I took a lot of trades and I lost more than 3 trades that month. I just felt like I just kept losing. I had no good trades at all. But one good trade is all I need, and that's what I did. First, I am going to the bigger time frames and show you guys. Here's the Nasdaq chart, and this is the 1 hour right now. If I do this zoom out, we can see that we are in an uptrend in the bigger time frames. This is the all-time highs right here. If I'm looking at a bigger picture, this is a uptrend. It's pretty simple to spot. How I get my levels is that I go to the previous days and I mark out my previous day's highs and my previous day's lows. In some cases, I also mark out my pre-market high and my pre-market low. So what I see, this is the Wednesday where I got the trade. This is the pre-market high. You can see there's a pre-market high right there, and there's general areas around the opening prices or the pre-market. And you can also see the exact low, which was on Monday, and then it was holding all day. It didn't break down, and then the next day it was getting stuck right there. You see how before it was support, and then later it became a resistance. And if I see it break above that level, I'll do a break and retest long, and that's exactly what I did. My confluences is that we are also above all-time highs. We basically did the break and retest right there, and we have a pre-market high that we're stuck on. That is also the Monday lows, and if it does break back above, I can get a break and retest. If I do go to the ES though, it's a bit different. There's divergence in the market. You can see that this was the Wednesday, but we have the pre-market high right here. There's like different wicks, and it was pretty choppy. But if you look at Monday's lows, it was right here. So it didn't really align together. Although the pre-market low was also here, it just wasn't as clear. So when I had my game plan, I said I'm only going to take the break and retest long if the Nasdaq gets above this zone right here. So it doesn't matter if the ES gets above the zone, because this whole chart right here is messy. I don't care if the ES goes above the zone, because the level is choppy, and I'm only gonna wait for the Nasdaq to break above. When I go back to the 2-minute chart, this is exactly what I saw. The Nasdaq just broke above the pre-market high right there. That was my level, and then it just gave me a retest. This is the break, this is the retest. I took my position right there and I just rolled it up to 3 to 1. ES was not as good. You can see that it didn't break above, but I still took the Nasdaq instead, and I just trusted my game plan. For this setup, it's only a setup. It's not A plus, because it's not following market alignment. It'll be better if both markets did a break and retest above. I'm more confident in that. Although it's not super A plus, the chart on the Nasdaq is super A plus, and I just had a proper game plan. There was confluences. We are above pre-market high. We did a break and retest. This is also Monday's lows, and we're in a bullish market. That's why I'm taking along. If you guys saw snippets of the live trade, there was no P&L. I just had my 3 to 1, like let's say right here, and I just targeted 3 to 1, and then I got 3 to 1. And the P&L, there was nothing to show. It just went up and down. I just trusted my game plan. As it was going down, yes, I got scared a bit, not really, but I just had to trust it. I can't just get in and out trades, and that's what has lost me in the last month. I just kept getting out of trades. I couldn't trust my game plan, and now I am trusting my game plan. It's only one good trade in October, so it's still early to say, but this has been a lot better than what I did in September, and I'm able to trust my process and just hold my trades. I could have held till the previous day's highs, which would have been like a 5 to 1, 6 to 1, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to just try to take this random trade right here. And if I had runners, yes, I can try that, but holding my whole position is just too greedy. And what if I didn't get that 6 to 1 and I just lost the whole trade when I could have gotten a good trade already. So maybe that's for the future, but I'm just okay with 3 to 1s. Plus I had to hold the trades longer. Once you get into the trade longer, there's more emotions into effect, because when it goes down, you're thinking maybe you're gonna lose this trade, you're losing all your profits, and that could have happened because as you see right here, it was right at my 3 to 1, then later it went back down, and what if I just sold right there and I could have gotten a like 2 to 1 instead, or 1 to 1, and that didn't make sense. I'm just selling off because of emotions. Showing you the exact live trade and like breaking it down. I'm basically targeting my 3 to 1 right here. Although I'm not in the trade yet, I chart out this graph right here and it shows my 3 to 1. So I can always adjust it, but I want to see where exactly I can get in, and I don't also want to risk too much. It doesn't make sense if I get in like 50 points and I'm risking too much. I'd rather wait for another opportunity if the risk is just too much. So I'm always like planning on where the level could be. That's why I zoom out to 30 minutes. I'm trying to see if there's any rejections anywhere. Basically, I want the candles to get above this, and if it does, then I'm going to take my entry, because if it doesn't get above the new highs, then it's going to be weak. And that's how I trade. And this, I never did this before. This is what I started doing recently once I started doing futures. And also it really depends on the trade. Sometimes I would take a break of like this candle right here, or the break of the previous candle, but it just really depends on the trade, and it's just intuition what I like actually seeing. But that just takes time to get used to the trades and just get used to the candles and what you actually like seeing. It's a tiny bull flag. Normally I used to like trades where it just breaks up fully, like the first candle breaks up and then it slowly slides down into the retest. But my trading has been different recently. These types of trades, they've been more like this, where it's not really a bull flag. It's more so like the candles are just like stacking above this area, and then once it gets above, I take it. And if it's the shorts, it's the similar thing. Yeah, so I just got in. It was a bit late, but I can't really expect that volume. And although I could have a better risk reward, it's more so I could have a smaller loss, but I'll still target 3 to 1. So my profit would have been like lesser at the end of the day. At this point in time right here, I'm like, damn, the ES is weak. I feel like I might lose this trade. Maybe me in the last week, I would have sold because I'm like, this ES is looking weak. And why am I even trying to long it if the ES is weak? But I'm just trusting my NASDAQ, and I can't get out of the trade. I can't manually exit the trade because it hasn't hit my stop loss yet. I don't want to keep getting out of trades and just not trusting my system, not trusting my game plan. So that's what I did. I just trusted it, did not sell, did not get scared, because I'm okay of losing. And I planned this from the beginning. So if I actually took action to take the trade, that means I liked it. And if I lose, then that's okay. I took my shot and I lost. I can't just second guess myself. And you could say this is a better break and retest, but you know, I also like this one right here as well. And if I actually waited for the ES to get above this zone right here, I would have not gotten into the trade, because if I zoom in a bit more or fast forward, the ES just exploded above that and it didn't really give me a like retest. Right here when the ES got stuck right here, I also got a little nervous. I'm like, maybe this pre-market high could just reject the market again, and then the NASDAQ can just fail all the way down. But again, I can't just move my stop to break even here. I had to like stick to my process. When I get 2 to 1s, that's when I move my stop loss to break even, and it hasn't happened yet. So I just can't change up my strategy or change up my game plan. Fast forwarding more, and then I get a huge explosion on this candle right here, or was it the next one right there? That volume was crazy. At that point, I'm like, I know this trade is going to work out. I don't want to be like a know-it-all, but I'm just confident in my trade now, because it did break a 2 to 1. So I'm also like relieved that I can move my stop to break even, but I still don't do that. I still haven't changed it yet, because maybe I'm like, maybe it still needs more room, but I know that I got to stick to my process, because I'm debating a little bit if I should move my stop to break even, or should I just not have a stop loss at all. But the thing is, having a stop loss, like moving to break even, is also a safety net. So I'm not losing a winning trade just because I didn't hit my TP. Again, I had more emotions up here. I'm like, what if this thing falls back down? Maybe I should just sell right here. But again, I can't just do that. I have to make sure it hits my TP. I also try to manually exit my trade right here, because today's been weird. Like when I move my things, it's like very slow. Like my positions are not like working. That is it for this recap. If you want to see how much I actually made, I made 144.50. Last month I was down 148. But I'm basically back to break even. I made back all my losses, and yeah, I feel happy about that. But I'm more so happy about the process. I stuck to my process and I was confident in my trade. I just stuck to my game plan, didn't change up anything, and it worked. That's what I gotta keep doing moving forward, and just stick to the process. and that's how I'm gonna keep moving forward. If you guys like this recap and you guys want to see more, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And what I like to always say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.